Yes, yes. Shallow and pedantic.
I agree as well. Shallow and pedantic.
Woo! Yeah! Woo! What? Shh. Much quieter. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rugged Adventures. Super glad to have you guys here on a 70-degree February day in northern Kentucky. That's out of control, so we are definitely going to be out here shooting. Today, I have something that I have been waiting on for a long time. The better part of a year. This is my SilencerCo Hybrid 46 multi-caliber silencer. This silencer will work on calibers from 9mm pistol up to 46 caliber rifle rounds. It will work on nearly every type of ammunition that you want to use, any type of gun. It will especially work on a 300 Blackout that we're going to be shooting today, which is why I purchased the 300 Blackout. A short barrel rifle, the AR pistol that is now transitioning to a short barrel rifle. This particular guy here, for like $1,000, $1,200, including your tax stamp, will work on almost any of your rifles. I'm going to be working on getting my AK-47 and my my 6.5 Creedmoor done up for this. But 11 months waiting for the ATF comes down to today. Let's get some rounds down range, and then we'll talk about this some more. Subsonic, 300 Blackout, no hearing protection required. I had the decibel meter on. We only got up to like 114 decibels, and that's right here next to where I'm shooting. So I'm going to say that that's probably picking up a lot of the downrange noise. I waited about 11 months to get this. I just started screwing this thing off here, but if you guys remember from the video that I did with the 22 suppressor, that ended up getting taken down by YouTube, and even though they reinstated it, I'm still a little bit gun shy about taking on and off suppressors while we are on film here. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at the differences between just regular full sonic ammo, no suppressor, subsonic ammo with no suppressor, and then both of them with the suppressor. See what the differences are, see what the difference is downrange, and we'll try to get some decent sound pressure measurements with this. This is not exactly the most high-end decibel meter, but it will have to do for what we are using it for. Again, I really like suppressors. I probably like suppressors more than even getting new guns or different kinds of guns, because this just changes the way that you shoot. To be able to come out here and shoot without hearing protection, even if you're shooting supersonic rounds, you can sort of get away without hearing protection, because a lot of what makes your ears ring is the muzzle blast, is the report from the gun, and not necessarily what's going on downrange. And I shot a few supersonics out of this before we went on camera, and the sound that it makes crossing the valley out there, which you guys can't see, but you've probably seen before if you've been to this channel, and if you haven't been here before, be sure to subscribe down below, hit this like button so that you don't miss anything that I put out. But the muffled report and then the sonic boom as it crosses across the valley is just an incredible thing, and unfortunately I don't think that I'm going to be able to capture it effectively with the camera stuff that I have. It's not something that I think is going to be able to be done. So let me reposition some cameras, and we'll just do some comparisons, and then we'll just have some fun. So first off, what we'll do with the 300 Blackout again, we will just put a supersonic one downrange, and then we'll follow that up with a subsonic one out of this. No suppressor, just the muzzle brake, and we'll see what that does. I'll be shooting near the GoPro so that you guys can get an idea of what the downrange sounds like, and then we will switch over to using the suppressor, and I think it'll be much more gooder with the suppressor. So a supersonic, and this is just a SIG 300 Blackout 125 grain. It's traveling at 2,145 feet per second. with 1,277 feet-pounds of muzzle energy. Pretty hot round, and it's pretty, it's relatively comparable to what a 5.56 would end up being. I mean, it's not exactly, and I don't remember the 5.56 specs right off the top of my head, but it's in the ballpark. So here we go. So that would be your Supersonic, and if we come over here to the sound pressure meter that was behind me, we have 117 decibels if it'll zoom in on that. Set it up again for the Subsonics and see if there's any difference. Again, the Subsonics that we're using are these ammo incorporated stealth. I've never actually heard of it, but got them from Palmetto State, pretty cheap. Muzzle velocity of 1,016 feet per second. Muzzle energy 337 feet-pounds, so quite a bit less because the bullet is going quite a bit slower. So here are Subsonics without a suppressor. And we have 116 decibels. And to be honest with you, I am not sure if that is from the actual bullet itself, from the report, or from the downrange noise from the targets that we're hitting. So maybe it wouldn't be a good idea to hit the targets every single time. But you could definitely feel that there was less recoil with the Subsonics than there was with the Supersonics. Now what you're here for, we'll shoot again, Supersonics out of the suppressor, then we'll go to Subsonics. We'll see what the decibel meter says. And when we're shooting the Supersonics, I'll put a couple across the valley. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it, but the sonic crack of that thing going over there is just such a weird sound to hear. And being that we're using this silencer or suppressor, there's people that call it both. Technically, according to the ATF, it is a silencer. And if you guys want to fight about it in the comments, feel free to be my guest, because all of that just continues to push this forward in the YouTube algorithm. So Supersonics first. Again, I'm not wearing hearing protection. The Supersonics aren't terribly loud. They are louder than, you know, than not. It's just such a weird sound. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Let me put the camera facing directly this way and see if you guys can hear that. It's just the coolest sound ever to hear that that sonic boom just crackling across the valley and having very little report. And that's one of the biggest things with these suppressors, is that it really reduces the report. And if you know, for folks that are out there actually in the military or in a combat situation, even if you're using supersonic ammunition, this thing really reduces the point noise. So for example, when we shoot you know, any round without a suppressor on it, you get this loud blast of energy, this loud blast of noise that's coming out of here. And if you're out here anywhere, you know, looking for this guy or whatever, the point noise of that will be very noticeable in a directional fashion. You'll be able to say he's up this way in some way. Whereas if you muffle that sound, it makes the point noise of the report much, much harder to narrow in on with your ears, because you muffle that. And even if there is a ton of noise from supersonic bullets going, that's making a continuous crack as it flies across that valley, and it's very, very difficult for you to be able to trace that back to where it came from versus just the point noise of the round going off. So let me get this reloaded with Subsonics, and that's where the real magic will happen. The last one, I didn't show you guys the decibel meter. It was 112 decibels, not hitting any of the targets, and that was suppressed with supersonic ammunition. And if you guys know anything about sound pressure, every 3 decibels is essentially double the volume. So, you know, from 116 to 112, that's 4 decibels. So it is actually a significant reduction in the noise that this thing is putting out. The noise of it is just so much less, and you definitely do not get that crack. Let me shoot one at a target a little bit farther downrange. Being able to just hear, I mean, it is just so much different, and I don't think that the cameras capture how much difference there is in the sound level between supersonic and subsonic, even shooting it out of the suppressor. Now let me post this camera up here across the valley, see if we can get any difference in the sound from when we shot the first time with the supersonics cracking across the valley and now these subsonics. I mean, it's just hardly anything. You can hear the action of the gun probably far more than anything, and actually you can hear the bullet when it hits way over there if you listen long enough. Did you hear it? See how long it had to fly before it hits over there? And with it not making that sonic boom and not having that gigantic muzzle blast that's, you know, ricocheting or echoing through the valley, you can hear that stuff. And that is what is really cool about suppressors. It is just a totally different style of shooting. It's a totally different experience, especially being able to, you know, take your hearing protection off. I know that some people would be like, why would I spend $1,000 or $800 or $2,000 to buy a suppressor just for the convenience of being able to take my hearing protection off? And I'll say that about anything. Why do you spend $800 to $1,000 on an AR-15 or anything? It's just something that you want to do. Now, when we look at the sound pressure meter, we are at 89 decibels, and that includes me hitting one of those targets down the way. I tell you what, I'm going to put one more in it, and we are going to just look at, I'll shoot it across the valley so that we have the minimum amount of sound right here. We'll see what the sound pressure level is without hitting any targets. All right, one more across the valley. We're not going to hit any targets, so we'll get a real good idea of what the sound level is. And again, if it focuses on that, which it might or might not, we're at 89. And so between 89 and 112, again, 3 decibels is doubling of the sound pressure. That is a significant decrease in sound. I can't tell you, it's hard for these cameras to pick up exactly how much less noise it makes, how much more fun it is to shoot with this. And the cool thing about this is it's not caliber specific. I'm going to be able to put it on nearly every gun that I have, and that's why I picked this one over any of the others or any of the caliber specific silencer suppressors, what have you. Another cool thing about this particular setup here, for one, it is very short, and that does make it quite a bit more manageable. They look really cool. Suppressors look really cool, but the 300 Blackout, you can switch between supersonic and subsonic without doing anything to the gas system, without having to retune it, change anything, and it still cycles. And that's one of the big benefits. That's one of the reasons why the 300 Blackout was created in the first place, so that you could use standard AR-15 magazines. You can just change the barrel, and you can go from supersonic to subsonic, which the supersonics have similar ballistics to 5.56, but you can get that in one single package basically and be able to switch ammo without a whole lot of problems, tuning, trials, tribulations, or anything like that. So guys, I appreciate you guys watching today. If you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up button for me. Hit the subscribe button down below. Really helps this channel out. Make sure that you don't miss anything that we have in the future, including our exotic shotgun shells. I bought a couple bowling balls for pistols versus bowling balls, and just any other ideas that I end up coming up with and coming down here and trying out. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one.